All right, excellent. So I am officially going to welcome you all to today's event. Today's event is the Partnership Effect. My name is Anne Marie Pasquino, and I will be your host for today's event. On behalf of Melissa Henry and everyone involved in bringing today's event together, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome. We're so glad that you've chosen to spend the next 90 minutes with us. So the event is 90 minutes. As we get started, I'd love to know who's in the room. So please post in the chat where you're calling in from. Please turn on your cameras, say hello, and we will get started. All right. We are here. I already see people joining. People are coming in from everywhere. Smooches. I love it. So now that we've got the chat warmed up, I'm going to ask all of you a really important question. Is everyone ready? Can I see some thumbs up? Can I see some smiles? Can I see? Yes. Okay. Awesome. All right. I'm going to ask you all, is it pizza or tacos? Pizza or tacos? Big question, everyone. Let me see in the chat. Tacos, I love it. Both. I'm a both girl. Absolutely. I love it. Tacos. No pizza? Nobody's a pizza? And come on, we have so many more people in here. Tacos. I love it. Pizza gluten-free. Yes, Maria. Love it. I miss pizza. I know. Tacos. I love it. Okay. Fantastic. There's no wrong answers, everyone. So if you haven't posted in the chat, please do. Big question of the day before we get started. All right. One last thing I'm going to ask you all to post in the chat. What is your line of expertise? So if you can just drop in a word or two on your line of expertise, we would love to see that. Take a minute. Let's get that chat moving. Partnerships, excellent. Publishing, mental health trauma, branding, photographer, retreats. I love it. Excellent. Anyone else? If you're in the room, fantastic. Oh, the chat's on fire. Makes me so excited. All right. All right. So before we get into today's content, there is just a few housekeeping items. Oh, sorry. If you are able, we would love for you to be on camera today. So please take 2 minutes, turn your cameras on. Love seeing those beautiful smiles. Dr. Caroline, I'm like just looking at you. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. This event is all about partnerships and relationships. And it's always enjoyable to see who's in the room. Please keep the chat open throughout the event. We'll be using it quite a bit for exercises, questions, resources. Don't be afraid to jump in. If you have a question in the moment, feel free to post it in the chat. The more you participate, the more you'll get out of today's session. If something resonates with you, please let us know in the chat. If you have a question, ask it. If you want to be interactive, this is not another webinar. So if you can give yourself permission to be fully present in the next 90 minutes, I'm going to ask you all this, and we did it before we got on. Close your email, put your phone on silent, take this time for you and your business. Thumbs up, feeling good, everyone? Yes? Great. Okay, so we are recording today's session. So if you need to step away briefly, that's absolutely fine. All right, I think we're ready to get started. So I'm going to walk everybody through the agenda. The next 90 minutes, Melissa is going to start by sharing the mission, why this event exists, and why she thinks this particular moment matters for women in business to come together much more intentionally and with a bigger purpose. Then we're going to hear from Mack from Powerful Online Partnerships. She is going to give her partnership framework, the 7 elements that make partnerships actually strategic rather than just hopeful. From there, we're going to hear from Laura DiFranco from Brave Healer Publishing. She is going to walk you through what she calls the perfect partnerships, how to identify the right partnerships, and just importantly, what disqualifies someone. After that, we will hear from Sabrina Renee Kickel from Calgary Consulting. She is going to show us how to build partnerships that create predictable, repeatable growth, not one-off wins, actually systems. Melissa is going to close with something she's building, and I think a lot of you are going to know what it's called, collectively influential. And then we're going to do a Q&A. So you can post your questions throughout the event, but we will reserve some time at the end for a Q&A. And now it is absolutely my pleasure to introduce you to today's host and the visionary behind the Partnership Effect, Melissa Henry. Before I do that, I do want to share a little bit about Melissa because she is truly an amazing human being, and it's been an absolute pleasure working alongside her. So Melissa Henry is the founder of Hell of a Brand. Hell of a Brand is trusted by purpose-driven women entrepreneurs ready to become known as leaders in their space. With 17 years as a business owner, she brings a rare mix of strategy, creativity, and intuition to help her clients clarify their positioning, elevate their presence, and attract aligned opportunities. Melissa's signature vibes frameworks translates their big goals into powerful, authentic brands that command attention and open bigger doors. Melissa is deeply committed to expanding women's wealth, visibility, and influence in the world, convening powerful collaborations, creating pathways for purpose-driven women to build a legacy together. So I'm just going to say round of applause. Welcome, Melissa. I'm now going to hand it over to you, and it is your show, girl.
Thank you so much, Anne Marie. I really appreciate it. Hi, everyone. I am so glad that you guys are here. And honestly, I'm looking around at all the faces and I have a lot of gratitude that you've chosen to be here because I know there's a lot of different ways that you could spend your time. And I really wanted to bring this event to you in service of what I'm calling my bigger mission. And so I'm going to share that with you. And as we go through the event today, I think you're going to kind of start to see how this is all interrelated. What we're doing here in this room today is interrelated with my mission, with the collective you'll hear about, with all of the things that these amazing speakers are going to teach you today. My mission in the world is that I envision a world in which women entrepreneurs all create the kind of wealth that fully supports themselves, their families, their communities, and causes that they care about. And the truth is, and I think you all would probably agree with me, I hope, that without money, it's difficult, if not impossible, to create the kind of impact that changes many lives. Do you guys agree with that? Hands up, thumbs up. Yeah? So when we look around today across all industries, I've done the research across all industries, sectors, organizations around the entire world, women on average make up less than 28% of the leadership roles in the rooms where big decisions are being made on a daily basis. That's worldwide. And this is not a mistake. This is actually by design. And what I believe in my heart of hearts is that what we're experiencing right now in this moment in the world that we're in right now is a direct result of that imbalance of influence and power. I know that you guys agree. We've already said that you agree that to make more money, we can have, or when we make more money, we can have more influence in the world. But there's something else I believe too. And that is that I have this big mission, but I can't do it alone. I can only do it so much, right? Just by myself. So when I came to realize that this mission is really the thing that I need to put out into the world, I then also had a realization that I needed to bring other women who work in different lanes, but support my audience as well. Because if we come together, we can really move some mountains together. And that's not just for ourselves, but it's also for our clients. And it's also for all the women who are trying to build their empires right now. Maybe they're just getting started, or maybe they've been doing it for a while, but we're out to help them too. And so, since my mission is so big, I couldn't even just stop at that, like just bringing together a room full of people that could help each other. But I want to see thousands and thousands of women do this too. So, bringing it back down from that lofty 30,000-foot view, the reason I created this event today is because I know that intentional partnerships are how we create that kind of a business that elevates your wealth and brings you that influence and power. And you know what else? I also know how difficult and time consuming it can be to find those kind of partnerships on your own. I'll share with you later. I've done it. I've spent years doing this. So what my hope is that this event is going to give you some takeaways on how you can find and form your own partnerships, but it's also a real-time demonstration of how the collective that I'm building actually helps each other on this mission, because I didn't pull this event together by myself. All the women on this stage today, they helped me create and run this event. So we will talk later about the collective with next steps on how to apply if it feels aligned for you. But for right now, I want to introduce our first speaker. She is a good friend. She is a fellow collective member and collaborative partner. Her name's Marie Mack. And Marie is the co-founder and chief business development officer of Powerful Online Partnerships, where she helps entrepreneurs turn meaningful relationships into thoughtful strategic collaborations. Marie has a natural ability, she does, I've experienced this, to see how the right people, ideas, and opportunities actually fit together. She brings structure and discernment to the partnership process, and she helps coaches and consultants go beyond a scattered outreach and into partnerships that are intentional, aligned, and designed to grow over time. So thank you so much for being here, Marie, and go ahead and take it away.
Awesome, Melissa. Thank you so much. Look at this room. Have you guys looked around? This is power in the room right now. I am super stoked. Thank you for allowing me to be on this stage. Hello, everyone. I am Marie Mack. I have about 10-ish minutes to go through something super amazing with you. It's going to set up these other two amazing speakers. I've seen their presentations. You want to stick around to the end. Get your notepads because there's a lot coming at you. So what I'm going to start with is a partnership framework. Okay. Anne Marie, I'm going to ask you to put some stuff in the chat because we've got things to talk about. Okay. First off, I believe 100% in strategic partnerships. Okay. This is what powerful online partnerships do. It's what we do with our clients. It's what we do with our members. We talk about how businesses can work together, grow, scale, and increase visibility. So I'm going to start with a framework. It's going to be super awesome because I created an acronym around it. It's partner. All right. This is the partnership effect. So we're going to start with an acronym of a partner. I'm going to go through it one by one, and it's going to help you decide and think about partnerships differently. And I want to go through each step. So first thing off, P. P starts for purpose. Why are you doing this? Why are you looking for a partner? Why do you want to partner with another business? I know Laura's going to go through this a little bit more. She's the next presentation right after. So I don't want to dive too deep into this, but your why is super important, not only in your business, but the people that you're connecting with. So first thing is purpose. Know why you're here. Second thing is alignment. Alignment is a shared value. And the way that I think about this is your gut feeling. Anybody done a partnership before and been like, I'm not quite sure? Yes, yeah, I see Melissa has, definitely. You're like, something feels a little off, right? You don't have to pinpoint exactly why that is, but know that your gut feeling is really going to help. Put in the chat for me if you've tried to do a partnership. And partnership, let me step back a little bit because I want to make sure we're all on the same page about what partnerships are. The way that the speakers and I think about it, it's about collaboration. It's about working together. This could be a referral partnership. This could be anything to do with an affiliate. This could be anything that's out there on how we work together. So if you have done a partnership before, worked with another business, just put in the chat and let me know if you felt aligned with that because it's super important. Okay. So purpose, alignment. The next thing is going to be reach. Yes, thank you, Sabrina. I know you did. You're so awesome. Reach. The big thing that we always want to think about is what audience are you going to be able to reach and what impact can you create there? And then how are the people that you're connecting with going to help you get the visibility you're looking for? Because this is a two-way street. Partnerships are all about relationships. I'm a relationship-driven marketer. That's the way I think about it. I don't know, Sabrina, if you say the same thing, because I know you're in marketing too, but it's all about relationships. And those relationships allow us to create a really amazing long-term strategic partnership relationship with somebody else. So reach. Think about how the expertise is different. Think about how they have a client that works for you. Not to say you can't partner with anybody, but for me, partnering with a used car salesman, doesn't make sense, right? I want to connect with people that are exactly in this room. So I know I'm going to ask you later, we should connect. But the people that are in this room, I want to continue to support. I want to see your businesses grow, and we can do that by the reach that we have. Okay, next thing, T, trust. Okay, trust is huge in any kind of partnership, any kind of introduction. And I love making introductions, but I have to trust that not only the people I am introducing to others, but also the people that it goes both ways, right? I'm putting my name behind that introduction. An introduction is huge. And trust is the biggest part of that. When you're creating any type of relationship, I'm sure most of you have relationships with your spouse or your parents or your kids. Anything in there has to do with trust. If something makes you feel a little off, you don't have to introduce them. You don't have to be that person who says, yes, I'll stand behind them. You can very kindly, and I've done a podcast about this. How do we just peacefully say, I don't think this is for me? And that's protecting not only your business, but it's also protecting the people that you are introducing. So just think about trust. Trust is a huge thing. All right, next one is next steps, okay? How are you going to work together? You have to have a plan for this. You have to know how you're going to continue to connect, how you're going to increase that visibility. At the end of the day, this is a revenue stream for your business. And it's a layer inside of your business that's super important. I could talk all day about how partnerships, referrals, all of these things are so powerful, but you have to know what's next. You have to have that plan. And planning is just, it takes a little bit of time, but it makes everything so good. So make sure you know your next steps, know what to ask, know how you're going to work together, know what you need from them and what you can give to them, because partnerships is a two-way street. Okay. Next thing is evaluate. What is working? What is not working? In our business, we talk about this all the time. We have to look at it. We have to be able to think about the numbers, yes, but then also how is this person communicating with you? What kind of introductions did they give? Did anybody get a really amazing introduction from somebody else because they evaluated that relationship? Put it in the chat if you did. Yeah, Melissa did. I love that. Absolutely. Love you guys to put it in the chat.
Let's
Yes,
post
I
in the
love
chat.
it.
Fantastic. Let's keep people going here. Fantastic. Laura, Sabrina, Celeste, great.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Susie,
So all
yes.
Yeah. Oh, all your clients come from introductions. Yes, me too. I love that. You know the beautiful thing, side tangent for half a minute. The beautiful thing about introductions is that you're getting a very beautiful, warm audience, right? If you guys have been in business, you understand you have cold audience, people who don't know you at all. Relationships, strategic partnerships is about getting a warm audience right into your inbox. And people already have this trust factor because they trust the person that introduces you. And oh my gosh, I know Laura does this, Sabrina does this, we all do this. We introduce each other all of the time. And inside the collective that Melissa's putting together, this is the power. It's huge. It's all about that. How can we make introductions that increase women-owned businesses? Huge. You haven't had a successful partner before? Okay. Amelia, we have so much amazing growth. I'm so glad that you're here today because the other speakers are going to give you some other details, and it's a really good place to be here. So thank you for being here. I love it. Okay, we've got one more letter. This is called, it's repeat. Okay, do it again. Think about the trust that you're building. Think about the relationships that you're building. Do your evaluation. Do a debrief call. We do this a lot in our business. It's all around the debrief call. We actually have a podcast about this. I'll see if I can find the podcast link. At least you guys can follow us. Partnerships on Purpose is our podcast. And it's all around evaluating how you're doing. So all of these things are so important. So we have each one of the different letters. I know Anne Marie's been putting them in the chat. This is the framework that I want you to think about. I'm going to run through this real quick again. Purpose, alignment, reach, trust, your next steps, evaluate, and then repeat. This is your partner framework. Okay. And if we can do this consistently, and if we can do this with the right people in the room, you're going to grow your business and you're going to help other women business owners be successful, which I think is absolutely massive and huge. Thank you. I love it, Carolyn. Yes, I love the framework too. Everybody loves a good acronym, right? Like, how do we remember all of the stuff that we need to do in business? Acronyms help me a ton. So I know we have a couple minutes. I'm happy to answer any questions that have come up. My goal today is just to get you excited about the fact that we are going to work together and increase business. And the other two speakers are going to give you some more detailed exercises and things, which I've seen. So I'm really excited about that.
All
Any
right.
questions, Anne Marie? Did you see anything?
I think people are posting in the chat. I love it.
Yes.
I've posted the partnership and what that means. If
Yes.
anybody wants to grab a screenshot, I'm also going to put Marie's LinkedIn information in the chat for anybody who wants to connect with Marie. There was one question, because I know you have to go, but I just want to make sure that somebody said something. I think it was Amalia. So I've been doing everything by myself. Okay. Strategic partnerships. Somebody said, Celeste, I know she had to leave, or maybe she's still here. I have done at least one where there was an alignment. So the importance of alignment.
Yeah, and alignment is huge. Let's open this up a little bit. You have to know what you're asking for to know if that partner is aligned. And like I said, it's your responsibility to say no thank you to somebody so that you can protect the people that are inside your business. And I say protect because the people that are on your email list, the people that are in your community, the people that are in your memberships, they trust you. And so when you put somebody else in front of them, it's your job to make sure that they get the right support. The nice thing about being in communities like the collective in general is that we've already pre-vetted each other. So we know that everybody that's in that room is really amazing. So I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Melissa, for this stage. Thank you for
Marie, we have
allowing
one
me
more
to be here.
question for you.
Oh,
Can I ask
yes.
one more question? All
Yes.
right, from Laura, and I'm just going to jump in because I know you have to run. Have you
No
ever
worries.
had to back out of a partnership later because you said yes to something that wasn't ultimately aligned? How did you do that?
Oh, 100%. Good question, Laura. I love this. So sometimes when you start, you're like, yes, this is going to work out. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You create a deal. I usually don't just say, no, I'm going to cut it. We're not going to do anything, but I do adjust the agreement. So perhaps I would say at the end of the day, this might not be the best fit. My audience hasn't resonated with this. When I've seen this before, it didn't work. Can we adjust? Can we change? And if the partner is not amenable to that, then you can just say, I'm not sure that this is going to work out. If you have somebody else that you can introduce them to, that's always a really good thing. Introductions are a really great way to partner with others. But I do like the idea of, again, it's about knowing your audience, knowing how to support them, and then being honest. We have this power within us to say yes or no, and our gut is telling us that a lot of the times. So I want to do that. That's a great question, Laura. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right. Marie, thank you so much. Before I hand it over to Melissa, and before you leave, just because we are at the beginning of the event, we are going to take a group shot because I don't want to lose anybody else. So everybody on camera, you got it, Susie. You look beautiful. What you fixing yourself? You look fantastic. All right. Is everybody on camera? All right. I think we have everybody. So we're going to get everybody's smiles. Excellent. And I am just going to do this one moment. All right, one more just in case. I love it. Everybody's still got their smiles on. Fantastic. All right, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Oh, wait. We had you sneaky. I just saw you pop up there, girl. Hold on a second. All right, we're going to do it one more time. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Marie, thank you for your time. Melissa, back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Marie. Really appreciate it. So everybody, what Marie just walked you through, I think she's mentioned this is exactly what we do inside of the collective, because it's important that people who come into this group have shared values, a similar purpose. Trust is built over time inside of this group. I'm going through her framework right now. We help each other grow our reach. We ask for what we want, and that's easier because we know each other. And we, of course, evaluate the results as we go within the collaborations that we create. These are relationships really that continue well beyond the time of the collective itself. And just to highlight the relationship that Marie and I built, it wasn't by accident. We followed those same principles that she taught you today. And so, of course, I'll have more later on that. But right now, I want to bring up to the stage my longtime friend. She's also a member of the collective. She's the publisher of the book. I'll talk more about that later, but this is Laura DiFranco. I'm going to bring her up. Laura is the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing. It's an award-winning publisher for holistic experts with the mission to help the world experience what's possible. Laura's going to go a bit deeper into what makes someone your right fit as a partner. So Laura, go ahead.
Melissa, you're amazing. I love you so much.
Love you too.
Thank you so much for having me to be a part of this. You guys, this topic, this is it, you guys. This is it. This does work. Listen into all the golden nuggets that you've already heard and you're about to hear. So my business was built over the last decade from a strategy of networking, building better connections, and then finally understanding that it was the closer relationships turning into what I call legacy business partners that were changing my business. It was the aha of all ahas. So I've been a part of at least 10. I'm probably not getting that number quite right. 10 networking or mastermind groups over the last decade. I'm currently in 4. And so what I know for sure is if you do a fair amount of networking, you don't need to talk to more people. You need to build better friendships with the right people. And I did say friendships on purpose. Melissa is one of the best examples of my perfect legacy business partners. I really define this as someone who serves the same exact perfect ideal clients as you do, but in a slightly different way and definitely complementary way than you do. And that's how I'm framing this. There are a lot of different kinds of partnerships, but that's the one that turns me on the most. So we'll see how well I can give you guys these slides here today. Everyone seeing it, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. What would you rather have, the shake or the hug? Who's a hug person? Right? I want the hugs, man. I'm in this for the good stuff. Melissa and I met at the Virginia Women's Business Conference. You remember that in 2018? It was spectacular. We sat at the same table and here we are. Like, how many years later is that? I don't like to do math, you guys. You guys have to do the math. 2018, right?
It's 2019.
19, sorry.
Yes.
All right. I was a year off. But I am so grateful to call you a friend and not just a business partner, but you're somebody I want to hang out with. I want the hug, right? We collaborate in so many different ways. We've been speakers for each other's audiences. We do email list swaps. We network and travel together. We co-lead workshops together, right? All the things. So let's talk about how you vet these partners, right? And feel free to take a shot, a little picture of the screen if you want these questions for yourself. Melissa, can you see that from side to side? Okay, thank you. So when I'm out and about meeting people looking for these perfect partners, I usually ask myself a few important questions before I spend a lot of time and energy and effort trying to nurture those relationships. Are they serving my perfect ideal client, but in a different way than I do? Cool, check. Are they someone I like? It's so basic, you guys, but you have to have the good vibes. You gotta feel it, right? Do you share values and a sense of humor? Because if you don't, oh my gosh, this is gonna be very exhausting. Don't do it, right? Do you actually wanna hang out with them? Can they carry on a spiritual or holistic oriented conversation? Now, this is a personal one for me, right? You're seeing my questions. So what you guys might do is make a different version for yourself. How would you tweak that third one there, right? Because I love talking about mindset, business building, visionary entrepreneurship, poetry, writing, all publishing, all the things. And Melissa can sit and talk to me about anything, including sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's bonus, right? It's a bonus. Do they communicate and operate with awareness, respect, kindness, integrity? Here come the values, right? And then is there a reciprocal energy going back and forth? Because you guys, if you pick a partner where there's nothing coming back, you will be burnt out and exhausted pretty fast. So these are my questions. Make your own. There's lots of kinds of partners in my world. Make your list, right? So I'm looking for different kinds of people. Melissa's a brand strategist. Life or business coach is a perfect partner for me. Some of these people, all of these on this list, serve my beautiful holistic healers, authors in a slightly different way than I do. So start making your partner list and see what kinds of lanes you're looking to find partnerships in. We're going to do a little journaling here now. So get your notebook out. What are 5 criteria that you have for a perfect partnership, right? What are some of these things that you want in a perfect partner? Can you come up with 5 right now? Start writing them down, right? This can change your entire business. When you know what you want in a partner, you can hold those criteria in your mind and heart each day, and you can make it how you prepare for your work day. You can start the day by looking at your own criteria and decide who you actually want to spend time talking to that day. So,
Laura, do you want people to post in the chat things that are coming up?
yeah, great. If you guys want to write a couple of them, maybe your top 1 or 2, please share. And I'll give you just a few seconds for that. I love a partner with a sense of humor and help my authors gain visibility after they publish their book, right? So what are they up to in the world and how do they serve? I like somebody who is on time for meetings. Not to say that I haven't been late once or twice, but man, I think I was born on time for sure. I got that double whammied. Both my parents were on time people.
On time and smiling. Laura, when you get on a call and people just have that infectious smile as soon as you see them.
Yes, yes.
We have a couple of comments in the chat. If you'd, I can read them to you. So Sabrina says they genuinely care about client success. If someone is willing to sacrifice client outcomes for a quick sale, they're not a fit. Similar heart-centered vision mission from Dr. Caroline. Maria says naturally refers each other's services, no brainer, similar holistic and spiritual outlook and philosophy. I love this, Debbie. Honest, caring, supportive of caregivers, sense of humor.
Yeah, really nice, you guys. Relationship focused, not transaction focused. I love that, Sabrina. Communicate consistently.
Communication.
Yes. All right, you guys. So we're going to move to something that I think is just as important, and I hope will get you massive clarity. What disqualifies somebody from your precious time? So think about this for a little bit, right? You know, this saying that goes something like, knowing what you don't want is as important as knowing what you do want. So we're going to address that a little bit. Now, I mentioned some of the questions I asked myself earlier. Those coincide with my criteria, but I have a lot of kind of criteria that I have to remind myself of that are, I call them the anti-criteria, right? If they don't serve holistic experts or professionals, that's not probably somebody that's a perfect partner for me. So that's okay. You can be unapologetic about who you're talking to. Please be picky. Save your time, right? They have a negative mindset is one of mine. You guys, I don't have time for it. I'm dealing with my life behind the scenes. I've got shit to deal with. Everyone else has. If my networking and business day is full of negativity, I can't do it. I don't have the capacity, right? Their actions don't match their promises. That's another no way, Jose, right? I feel anything less than good when we communicate. Think about that one. If I feel anything less than good, it's a no. Why would you want to spend more time, right? Another example for me is I call them my pink flags, because isn't it nice to get the pink flag before it turns red? And so what are some of yours? Take a minute and you can definitely share them in the chat if you have some ideas, okay? We tend to ignore these things, you guys, but I've learned that when I ignore that stuff, man, it comes back to bite me in the ass. What are a couple of your anti-criteria?
I'm going to read
Scarcity.
some for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, awesome. So we have transactional, cold, flaky, startup is selfish, self-serving, not authentic, negative, sales only driven, negative, energy suckers, narrow-minded. Wow, we got there's a scarcity mindset. Oh my goodness. Okay. They try and sell me something out of the gate. Yeah, so a lot of good things in here.
Yes. And I love it because this is clarity that's going to help you. And it really is going to help to have it in front of your face in a journaled format, put it on a document, whatever, put it in front of you every morning. Remind yourself, what are my criteria? Is this fitting right over in there? Or is there some of this stuff over here in there? And maybe that is a no. It's okay if it's a no. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. So we had our anti, and I'm just going to give you my last slide here and remind you that perfect partners will create community and business growth. And it's why I love being here today. It's why I love this topic. It's why I love Melissa. Community-oriented, collaborative kinds of groups are game changers and have been in my business for a decade. It's how I brought my business to empire level. This is it. This is how. So feel free to come on over and get access to the resource vault with the QR code. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Let me know. I'll give you the link.
It does.
Okay, good. And put me in your phone, you guys. There's my cell. All right. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Laura. I also put your LinkedIn profile in the chat. So thank you so much for sharing that info with us. We have a couple of people who just joined us. So we are almost halfway through our event. So we're on our second speaker going over to our third. Please, this event is being recorded. Melissa, will you share the recording with everybody who's registered and attended today?
Of course. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, if you were here in the room, you get the recording.
Fantastic. If you have any questions for Laura, please feel free to post them in the chat. We do have some dedicated time at the end for some Q&A. I am now going to pass it over to you, Melissa. I'm just going to get over here. Fantastic. And sorry, before I hand it over to you, how is everybody feeling? Is everybody still feeling that energy? I'm not seeing the smiles anymore. Thumbs up, Dr. Caroline. I love it. You're just like, I gravitate to you. I don't know if it's because you're first on my screen. Debbie, thank you. Amalia, how's everybody feeling? Everybody feeling good? All right, we are going to continue. Melissa, back over to you, my dear.
Anne Marie, thank you for keeping up the energy. You rock, and I love that.
I feel like putting some music on. That music,
yeah, the music is good, right?
And I may have to if I'm not seeing smiles and everybody. I'll put the music back on. Not afraid to do that.
I love that. That's so good. All right, thank you so much, Laura. I really appreciate it, you guys. I think Laura said it best because it's so freaking important for you to have a deeper connection with those that you want to partner with. This is not a transaction. And honestly, there are way too many groups out there that treat partnerships like a hit and run. And I've been in them and know. So, you might join those groups and you get a few clients here and there, but overall, they usually feel different than what Laura described. Right? It's, I'm just going to come in with the referral just because I have to, or I feel obligated, but there's not a real knowing of the business, the person behind that business that you're sending your clients to or referral to, right? So the real growth, and this is what I've personally experienced in my own business, the fun is when you are a part of something bigger, right? You're a part of other, like someone else who serves your same audience, but you can become friends with. So that's only found when you actually take that time to create those deeper relationships. And I know that I've a couple of times mentioned this collective. You guys are getting what I'm putting down, I think. But I want you to know a little secret too, because you know what my bigger mission is, right? But inside of this collective, in addition to all of the business building and all of the things, we're also creating the definitive collaborative book that's going to be written from our various perspectives and lanes of expertise, that it's going to help women entrepreneurs create more wealth and influence. And Laura is going to be both our writing coach and the publisher of this book. And it's what's going to make this collective live on, create an even bigger impact, and serve as an additional authority asset for every member who's in it. One thing I want to also let you all know, this is a little bit of, this might be a surprise to some, but a portion of the proceeds from the sale of the book are going to be donated to a nonprofit that serves women entrepreneurs. And that's a nonprofit that the women in the collective will actually select together. So it's yet another way that I want this mission to go on and how we're going to be able to serve more people. At the end of the day, this event, I'm going to give you more details, but if it is piquing your interest and you want to jump the line a little bit, the link here is Anne Marie just put the link in the chat here to get on a fit call with me where I can share more information. I can answer questions. I can see if there is a mutual fit. Calls are going to begin starting the 1st of July, and we're finalizing the remaining members before the end of the month. So with all of that, I am going to introduce and bring up to the stage Sabrina, and I'm really excited to bring her up here. Sabrina is the co-founder of Kelbry Consulting. She's a business growth strategist, and she helps coaches, consultants, and service-based businesses actually create predictable client acquisition. She's been a career executive and third-generation business owner. That's cool. Sabrina, you and I have a very similar background in that. She's spent more than 2 decades leading revenue generation, sales, business development, and P&L initiatives for organizations ranging from startups to multinational organizations. She specializes in helping businesses generate qualified opportunities through positioning, partnerships, like what we're doing here, content marketing, email marketing, and relationship-driven growth. So thank you, Sabrina, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So first and foremost, how's everyone feeling? Can I get either thumbs up or yes in the chat for that you're feeling great? Fabulous, fabulous. This is awesome, isn't it? How often do you have such an exciting and wonderful group of women all together talking about how we can do more with one another? It's outstanding. It warms my spirit in a way I could never, ever express. First and foremost, I really want to thank Melissa and everyone else who was involved with putting this together and for inviting me to be a part of this as well. And what's interesting is that when I look back over my career, some of the biggest opportunities I've ever received didn't come from advertising, it didn't come from cold outreach, they didn't come from a fancy marketing funnel. And I've been in marketing for a very long time. They came from people, they came from introductions, they came from relationships, they came from partnerships. And I've spent more than 2 decades in executive leadership, sales, business development, revenue generation roles. I've led growth initiatives for organizations ranging from startups to multinational consultancies. And whether I was working inside a large company or working on building my own business, one thing has always been true, and that's that the fastest path to growth has almost always involved another person opening a door. I know earlier on this session, we had a few people who had said, wow, I had some really amazing things happen. And there's someone in the chat who said that she hasn't had that happen yet. I'm really glad that you're here today because that's something that you should be able to take advantage of and benefit from and also give. And so I feel like when I look at many of the opportunities that changed the trajectory of my business, they started because someone trusted me enough to say, you need to meet Sabrina. And that's the power of partnership. I love what the other speakers have said today. Trust is huge, right? And right now, if you're on social media, there's so much noise. Everyone's business is the best. Everyone is bringing something that is better than the other, right? So our prospects, they have no idea who to trust. If they don't know you, it's very hard. And so trust is huge. And one of the big things that forming a strong partnership with other women who have something mutual to give and receive is that trust. So before I go any further, I want to see where everyone is today. I want to do a small poll. I'm interested in knowing from you what percentage of your current revenue comes from referrals or partnerships.
All right, everyone, you should see the poll on your screen. I'll give everybody a couple of seconds to answer that. And then I will share the results. All right, I'll give it a couple more seconds. I love it. I love when I see the numbers go up. It means everybody's paying attention and is into the event. All right. Fantastic. Love it. Okay, Sabrina, you ready for the results?
I am ready. I am.
There you go, girl.
Interesting. Oh, look at that. So 47% said more than 75%, and 20% said more than 51%. So that's amazing because that means that more than half of us in this room receive more than half of our business from referrals. And that's huge. That's huge. And it also speaks to there being an opportunity. What's really interesting about these results is that they speak to both opportunity and risk. If very little of your revenue comes from partnerships, there's tremendous growth potential. And if most of your revenue comes from partnerships, that's fantastic. But it also means those relationships become incredibly valuable assets that need to be nurtured. Either way, partnerships matter. So I'm going to take us through just one slide. I know everyone is very excited and we have a lot of wonderful content. And so I'm just going to take you through one. And more than anything, I want to talk about 6 things that I've learned about creating partnerships that actually work. So number 1 is that shared values, not just shared audiences. And there are a couple speakers today who also talked about that. And I really want to reiterate that point. A lot of people look for someone with a large audience. They think, oh, if the audience is big, then I'll just get in front of a whole lot of people and that's good. Or they think, I'm seeing them posting on social media a lot. So, yep, that's who I want. And more than anything, as several other people have said today, I really look for someone whose values align with my own. I think that makes the longest, most fruitful partnerships, because if the values aren't aligned, the partnership rarely lasts. And it probably also means that how they interact with their clients, how they do business might not be exactly the same way that you do, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that they're not the best fit. So trust is built much faster when both people genuinely care about serving their clients well. So I would say that's the first one. Number 2, I would say you want to be in a situation where there are wins created for everyone. Reciprocation is huge, but the best partnerships create 3 wins: a win for you, a win for your partner, and a win for the client. And if any one of those 3 is missing, it's probably not the best fit. The strongest partnerships I've had is where we're able to really bring out something wonderful for that client, something that's long lasting, something that turns into great testimonials, great future referrals for not only myself, but the collaborative partner. Those are the things that you want. And so I would say that number 3 is to build relationships before you need them. So a lot of times when we're working with people, what we'll notice is people will wait until they have an ebb in business before they start thinking about how necessary it is to build partnerships. And that's the wrong time, right? You want to do that well before there are any ebbs. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is waiting until they need leads, referrals, or opportunities before they start networking. The strongest partnerships I've had were built months or even years before any business was exchanged. I love what was said earlier in the room, how long some of these relationships have existed since 2018, 2019, earlier. That's fabulous. And that's a credit to really strong partnership building. The strongest partnerships really compound. And so that's an important thing to keep in mind. And number 4, be intentional about introductions. Not every introduction is a good one. And the best introductions happen when you deeply understand both people and genuinely believe that they can help one another. That's huge. That's when referrals convert. So number 5 is a really important one. If you're just making introductions and there isn't some type of repeatable system involved, it's probably not going to work as well as you want. So don't think about one collaboration. Think about systems. Can you host events together? Can you refer clients regularly, promote each other's content, appear on each other's podcasts, speak at each other's communities? The more repeatable the collaboration, the more valuable it becomes. And by the way, your clients see that constant relationship as well. And so they begin to trust each other's audiences, and that works really well. Number 6, stay visible. Definitely, you want to stay visible. One of the easiest ways to lose a partnership is to disappear. Relationships require nurturing. A lot of times we don't think about relationships the same way we do our clients. You would never disappear on a client, right? No matter if the cadence is speaking with them once a week or once every couple weeks, whatever that cadence is, your client always knows when they're going to communicate with you next. And you want to have the same mindset with your partner. Very important. So I would say that one of the reasons I love what Melissa is building is because she's creating something many entrepreneurs really spend years trying to hone. So often, as women entrepreneurs, we do feel like we have to go it alone. The statistics that Melissa gave earlier, they're amazing, right? And not in the best way. It's terrible to think how much our voices are not heard as women. And so being part of the collective is an opportunity to not only have your voice be heard, but hear what other women are going through, hear what their challenges are, hear what's working for one as opposed to another, learn what you can be doing differently, build long-standing relationships. So these are all really wonderful things. So I'm glad that I was here today. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope you guys really consider the collective. It's an exciting thing, very exciting.
All right, Sabrina, you're not off the hook, girl. You thought you were we're going to open this up to some Q&A. Does anybody have any questions for Sabrina before we hand it back over to Melissa? Does it resonate with everybody? Is what she's saying make sense? Post in the chat. Yes, no, I don't get it. What are you talking about, Sabrina? Sabrina, I have a question while I give everybody some time in the chat. So you talked about if a partner does ghost you, does not respond, like how much effort, time, energy do you put into that? Because I know that it could be really consuming. And yes, you would never ghost a client, but how much do you push it? And is that an indication of their work ethic? And how far do you want to go with it, right? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. I love that. It's if you don't have a current collaboration on the table, I would say you try maybe a few times, right? And if it seems like they're either not very interested or continually pushing things out, or they're just not responding, then I think they've kind of sent you a message, right? In that way, I would almost consider it like dating. You go out and it's a really great date and it's wonderful and the food is great and you have a wonderful time. And then afterwards you try to follow up and the interest seems low. Take a hint and move on. But if you're in the middle of a collaboration, and that one can be a little bit more challenging, and it seems like maybe it's not so much that they are not responding, but you're seeing that you're putting in a lot more work than they are, then that really means that it's a good time for you to evaluate the collaboration. I would say if it's one that you value, where, wow, this person's really great, I don't know what's happening, I would be direct. Bring it up, right? Have an opportunity to have a conversation with that person about it, because you never know. Something could be going on in that person's life, and this could be an aberration, but it could be a red flag, and you have to make some decisions based on that.
Amazing. Thank you. I love the analogy of the first date. I do that all the time. My husband must think I'm having an affair because I keep telling people, let's go on a first date. All right. We have one other question in the chat, from Dr. Caroline. For people like me who are newer at intentional business partnerships, where do you recommend starting?
Oh, I love that question.
And I'm going to bring you into the spotlight, Dr. Caroline. There we go.
Hi, Dr. Carol. Good morning. What an amazing question. So I would say that first I want to ask a question. Your target audience, do you tend to work with solopreneurs or do you work with larger companies? What is your audience typically?
So primarily my business is directly to consumer versus business to business, though I've had a lot of ideas. I've been in practice for over 35 years and I've had my own business as a solopreneur since 2002.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the majority of my business has been word of mouth. But as you all are saying in such beautiful ways, it's a new time, especially for someone like me who's been in business for that long. So being able to make sure that I'm adjusting and being able to collaborate is so important, because you're right. I know there are other people in the audience that have shared in the chat. As a solopreneur, I'm very accustomed to having to wear all the hats, and it is exhausting. And then even figuring out, hey, how do I navigate this level relationship? I've done a few partnerships, but initially they might have felt right. And then as you get going, you're like, oh, now I'm in kind of the middle of this. How do I navigate it? And also I want to be navigating it gracefully as well. And so I don't just abruptly end those relationships, but then it's about figuring out, even how you're trying to all teach us in your own way, how do we have confidence in doing this, which I don't have because this is newer for me. And then being able to keep trusting my gut, which I totally believe in as well. I'm all about the intuition side of it too.
That's awesome. I love what you mentioned. I'm also a firm believer in following your intuition. The gut is huge, great thing to pay attention to, and it's gotten me quite far. And I think that for starting out, I would say the first thing is I love the list that Laura put together for that initial criteria. I think that's outstanding. And then also look at, if you take your list, also look at who are the best types of people for you to connect with based on who your audience is, right? So if you know that you want, let's say, patients who are within a particular area focused on these particular issues, maybe even within this demographic, make that list. And then the patients that you have, start talking to them a little bit about what could be interesting for them. And for some of them, I imagine there might be some ways that you can collaborate together, especially if some of those patients turn out to be business owners of their own. I imagine there could be some good things there. But yeah, I love it.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you. All right. Any other questions for Sabrina before I let her off the hook? All right. It looks like what you presented makes sense to everybody. Sabrina, thank you so much for your time. Before I hand it over to Melissa, I am just going to say, are you okay, Melissa, if I just jump in here? Okay, yeah, amazing. We've been hearing so many words in this event today, partnerships, collaborations. I just want to share a really powerful collaboration. It is all the women that are in this event today. And we all have our own businesses, but we are also doing things together separately. So I have a relationship with Melissa. I am here as her MC host for today's event, but we are actually doing other things outside of this. And I have the same relationships with Sabrina. And Marie is actually my business partner. So I'm a co-founder with her in Powerful Online Partnerships. Laura and I met months ago at another event, and we're now making introductions to people. So the power of collaborations is endless. Trust your gut, connect with the people that are on the call today, because this is a really powerful group of women. And Melissa, on that note, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
All right. Thank you so much. And Sabrina, thank you again for being here. You just always floor me every single time I hear you speak. It's amazing. And those poll results, I don't know about you guys, but I thought it might shake out that way, but it was so interesting to see that yeah, most of what we're getting in our business does come from those relationships. And I'm truly in awe of all the women that helped me today with this. You shared so much, so great information. Anne Marie, thank you so much for running this event so efficiently. I could never have done this without you, so I really appreciate that. And actually, really quick, if everybody wants to give some snaps or some claps or whatever for all of them, thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, so you guys now have a framework, you've got some criteria, you understand a little bit about how to execute some of these partnerships that you have. And I actually just want to really quick, if you guys can put yes in the chat, if this is you, I would love to know how many of you guys think that creating these kinds of partnerships that you've seen modeled here today could take a long time to do. Maybe months, maybe years. Just put yes in the chat if you feel like this level of partnership could take a while. Okay, Dr. Carolyn says yes. Anybody else?
We got a yes from Linda. Laura.
Doesn't need to. That's true. It doesn't need to. Anybody else?
We got a lot more people here. Come on, ladies. We're losing the momentum. So I mean, music.
Yes, you can, Amelia. That's true. Yes, but not necessarily. It can if you're, what is it? It can if you're on. Not necessarily yes, but not as long as we're good. So I'm glad that you guys can see that once we've given you some of these tools, that it does allow you to cut through or cut to the chase, right? But I will tell you this, with every single person in this room today, it took me several years to get to this point. And I did have to do that alone, really going in and having these conversations one-to-one, really trying to suss out, was this the right person for me? I actually did spend time going down the road of starting those partnerships and then realizing that they were really not the right fit. I had partnerships that looked great at the beginning and then they fizzled out. I've even spent money in partnerships where I lost a lot of money because I invested in these initiatives that just didn't pan out. So I decided that if my mission really is to help those thousands of women entrepreneurs I told you about at the beginning, if I want to help women claim more influence, power, and wealth, then the best way I can do this is cut that time down for all of you, right? So I've seen it, I've done it. I've been in full-time business for over 8 years, and I'm really just now within the last, let's say 2 years or so, really developing these much, much closer relationships with people. And it's because I had to spend all that time, I don't know, kissing the frogs, I guess you could say. So I'm curious how many of you might want to have a room that's already vetted that way for you. That's, you know, that when you walk into that room, you can trust people in it. You know that they serve the same audience as you, or at least enough of that audience. You know that it's going to just be a lot faster. Would you guys want something like that? I'd love to hear that in the chat. If that's you, say yes. Jenny says yes. Anne Marie says yes. Dr. Cullen says yes. Anybody else? Amelia says yes. Susie says yes. Maria. Oh my goodness. Latigra. Is that how you say your name? Latigra? I don't want to say it wrong. Yeah, it saves us so much energy and time. Okay, great. I'm getting ready to share about this collective and how you comply. I'll share the details with you. There is a link that you've seen earlier, and if you want to apply for a call to talk about it further, I invite you to do that. There obviously this is no pressure here today because that's not what partnerships are about anyway. So, let me go ahead and share my screen. I am looking for my screen. There we go. All right. So you guys, the collective that I've created is called Collectively Influential. And it's a small, curated collective. It's for established women entrepreneurs who serve other women in business. There's only 24 women total. Put this up here. There's only 24 women total in it, okay? We've already filled some of those lanes. And this is so that it's large enough for the right collaboration partners and small enough that we can get to know each other well. Just so you know, some of the roles that we've already acclaimed are trademark attorney, community builder. We have the partnership expert. She just left the room, but she was in the room earlier. We have our publisher in the room, and there's another person there. So if you help women entrepreneurs in some capacity, like whether it's growing their business, building their wealth, showing up more confidently, improving their health or their performance, or helping them get more visibility, then I'd love to speak to you to see if that's a mutual fit for you. And just to let you know, some of the roles, just to kind of get your juices flowing, because if you know somebody who think could be a good for this, would love to talk to them too. But just a few examples of some of the roles that I know that could be a good fit are health coach, graphic designer, brand photographer, speaker coach, financial advisor, those kinds of people. And you can kind of see it runs the gamut across industries and roles. So here's the details. It's a 9-month membership. We're starting at the end of July and we're going through March 2027. And that is so that we can have that time to build those relationships over that time frame. There is only one role per lane, and that's so that you can send your clients to women that you personally know and trust and receive referrals from women who understand exactly what you do. Literally nobody in this collective is your competition. And of course, as I said, this does give you that time to and the size of the room so that you can build those relationships. Okay. And the first thing I do when I bring someone into the collective is that I sit down with them for a recorded interview. And what we do inside of that interview is we're going to actually highlight the best of you, like why your clients should choose you. If you have something to give away that you use as a lead magnet to build your audience, we get to share that for you. I'll be sharing that on my social media inside of my newsletter. Some of the other members of the collective can share that as well. So this just gives you that opportunity to get leads right off the bat, like the minute that you come in. We have monthly meetings where members share open opportunities. They make introductions for each other. They build new collaborations within the room. They offer guidance. Like if you're going through something and you're like, I need some support around this, you have others in the room that have been there, done that. It's really that entire kind of feeling of an ecosystem that we're building. And that's, of course, the opportunity to get to know each other's businesses at a deeper level. Okay. There's in between meetings, we have a members only Telegram group. That's for if you have any questions that come up during the month, if you have resources you want to share. If, hey, you're like, oh, I have a client I might want to send your way, you can reach out to people within that group and just, again, get support if there's something that comes up in the middle. We do have the ability to actively cross promote each other's workshops, lead magnets, offers, anything. So it's like the room doesn't just send you a referral here and there. It can send you or help you build a bigger audience because we want to point towards each other. We want to get in front of people that we wouldn't be able to reach on our own. And of course, there is the book that I just talked about earlier. So you get your chapter in the Empowered Woman's Guide to Influence. The book is going to be published through Laura's publishing company, which is Brave Healer Productions Publishing. We launch it together. That's actually the last point here. But in addition to expanding the mission that I talked to you about to a much bigger audience, the book also opens doors for you for speaking opportunities. It elevates your brand and authority, and it serves as a touch point for potential clients to come into your world. You can use your chapter as a lead magnet. That's one of the best ways to use that book. So when the book publishes in January of 2027, we all get to launch this together. We have a coordinated effort. This is all led by Laura's group, her team, and it's coordinated social posts, emails, and collective effort that basically puts the book in front of all of the audiences at the same time. So you guys, if this is speaking to you in some way, you want to know a little bit more, go ahead and you can use that QR code. It may take a little bit of just a few seconds to get you through, so be patient on that. Or I know that Anne Marie is going to drop that link into the chat to book a call with me. Again, this is not pressure. This is really literally a conversation. Just want to see if this is the right fit for you and for the room, because as I've said, the curation and vetting is literally everything. And I do promise that if you book that fit call with me, I will personally make an introduction to someone that could be a great collaboration partner for you. That'll take some conversation to figure that out, but that is regardless of whether you end up ultimately becoming a member. So I'm going to stop share on that. And just a quick pulse. Anybody planning on grabbing a quick call with me? I would love to see it. And then we will continue on after that. So if you want to grab a call, I'd love to see a yes in the chat if you plan on getting a call with me. Or by the way, if you know anybody that you think would be amazing for this, as I've said, who it is that would really do well in this room, I would love the intro, frankly. So appreciate that. So yes, all right, awesome. We've got some people. Yeah, Linda, we'll discuss that. I have this as a very low investment. Again, the book is included in all of this, but some of these other groups that I've seen, thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars. This is actually a no-brainer cost, but I'm not going to share that with you yet. I need to see if you're a fit. And so we will talk through that. But there also is payment plans too. It's definitely a no-brainer. Yes, and Ginny is in it. Just so you know, there's a few more here in the room who are in it. Ginny's in there. She's our community builder. I know we have Octavia in the room. She's our trademark attorney. So super excited. Yes, give them a kid. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Please do. I would really appreciate that. This is great. I'm excited to speak with you guys. And yeah, you've just seen how effective the right vetted partnerships can be for your business. You've witnessed that model today in this room. The right room with the right people, that opens doors that opens doors that years of marketing doesn't reach. And that was what today was all about. So thank you so much. And I'm going to let Anne Marie finish this off.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Melissa. I did put the link in the chat. So if anybody wants to click on that, it'll bring you directly to Melissa's calendar page and you can book that meeting right away. I think this was amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to give it, we have another 10 minutes. I'm going to open it up. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, if you want to raise your virtual hand or just, okay. All right, Laura, I'm going to hold on. Before I give it over to Laura, I just want to know, does anybody else have a question? I'm going to give everybody, okay. I'm going to let you come on, Laura, and I'm going to give everybody else the time to think about something, and we will close it up in a couple of minutes. Go ahead, Laura.
Oh, not a question. I just want to tell you guys, I'm comparing to so many different ways I've invested my money and time into groups and things. And what I want to tell you is that this particular model that Melissa is leading is the most effective I've ever been in. And I am in another one and it's building my business. And so if you guys if you want to chat with me about any aspect of it, you want to just make a connection, I will make some introductions for you. I am pretty much a super connector. So when you get a few of us into the room in a model like this, your business will start to change. It's palpable. It's amazing. That's all I really want to say, Melissa. I'm just so honored to be in this group.
Thank you, Laura. We are lucky to have you.
All right. I'm going to bring Sabrina back up here. Laura, I'm going to keep you spotlighted in case anyone has any questions. Just to see, did you say that if we book a meeting, it's for a recorded interview, or is it to learn more about each other before deciding to join? Melissa, I'm going to say that one's for you.
Yeah, no. So this meeting is really more to learn about each other. The recorded interview is the first thing I do when someone comes on board inside of the collective, it's like a gift that I want to give to you to get everything jump started.
Amazing. Any other questions from anyone who is here today? All right, fantastic. All right, on that note, I think I'm going to wrap us up and give everybody back 7 minutes. I did post everyone's links in the chat, so please take the time to connect with us. I do want to take, actually, before I close it off, Melissa, any final words?
I just appreciate you guys for coming. This has been amazing. And thank you guys so much for speaking here. Thanks for all of your support. And I just wish all of you well.
Fantastic.
Anne Marie, can you handle one more thing real quick?
I can handle anything, girl.
You guys, you may have thought of somebody while Melissa was talking. So I made an intro already to a speaker coach because as Melissa was talking, I'm like, oh my God, I just met this perfect person. That would be amazing.
Awesome.
You're giving them a total gift by making that introduction because of the group that they're going to be introduced to. If this wasn't a fit for you, I know you badass ladies know people. So that's all I wanted to say about that. And just thanks for showing up today. Love you guys.
Fantastic. And Sabrina, any final words from you before we wrap this up?
Yeah, just keep your heart and your eyes open for the types of partnership opportunities that can exist for you. And you always have two choices, right? Choice one is to stay on the path you're on. And if that path is working well for you and getting you what you want, then that's the path you should stay on. But if you think you could benefit from the support, the partnerships, from everything that all of us talked about today, then you should probably look at the second option.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sabrina. I want to take a moment to thank Melissa for putting this event together. It was absolutely fabulous. Thank you to our speakers, Marie, Laura, Sabrina. You guys were amazing. I want to remind everyone, you can save the chat. If you do not know how to do that, there are 3 dots. If you click on that, it's got a lot of great stuff in there. The content that the speakers shared, everybody's contact information, Melissa's calling. So just click on the 3 dots and you can just do save chat and it'll probably appear either in your Finder or somewhere on your computer, but you'll be able to access all of this great content. Melissa, thank you so much. Everyone here, this event would not be possible for all of you who took the time to join us today. So I want to say a big thank you to all of you. You were amazing. Thank you for your smiles. Thank you for your energy. And thank you for being here. I wish you all an amazing rest of your day, whatever that looks like, whether it's morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you. And I hope to see you all in the collective. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.